serious? What mysteries from the early days of the internet are still unsolved to this day? Just how many sex offenders did I talk to as a 13/FNC in all those AOL chat rooms? Or was I really just talking to other idiot teenagers? That and what happened to Rotten.com. So many. As a boy, pedo dudes in AOL chats were way open about it all. Very few pretending to be another kid. There was that guy in the middle 90s who designed his girlfriend using software. He ended up with something like a mugshot. Then posted it, hoping to find her in real life. He swore he was in love with her. This image he had created. He became an immediate laughingstock. I can't locate any links. But I remember one person referring to the girl as chiclet teeth. Anyway, I wonder if the guy ever found her. Are you referring to Adam Percity's dream girl from 2008? Daily Record article. Ad Savvy Breakdown. At Savvy.org. Video on GMTV. Youtube.com. Video on Morning Sunrise. Video on Today with Lorraine Kelly. Youtube.com. Adam's own video. He later did another ad campaign publicity stunt where he hired a billboard to ask people to hire him. Daily Mail article on that one. He went on to become a successful wrestling coverage YouTuber with WhatCulture.com and then left with several other contributors to form Cultaholic. While with What Culture he was founder and on-air general manager of their own wrestling promotion WCPW, now known as Defiant Wrestling. Edited to at, Percity was a filmmaker. Creating the documentaries Pinfall, 2011. Everything's Bigger, Adam Percity's Accidental Guide to Texas, 2012. And Anonymous Million Mask March, The Nasty Side, 2013. I remember that extremely creepy video of a young guy with longish hair and a very odd way of speaking. I think it was a combination of accent and speech impediment, talking about grave robbing and how to prep the remains for sale. I remember specifically him going into great detail into how to properly clean out the skulls so they wouldn't rattle when you shook them. Nobody ever came up with an identity, location, or even a solid answer for who was buying the human remains or why. Anyway, I haven't been able to stop thinking about it for a long time. Because last year a man where I live was arrested for doing the exact same thing. He was digging up graves, taking the remains, and methodically cleaning them for sale. Sale to who? For what reason? It literally drives me insane. Edit, grave robbing for morons and resolve me. Double edit, extremely creepy rip from the original VHS YouTube. Safe to view alone after 3 AM. A guy eating a soup and crying, while two Teletubbies were reassuring him. Edit, YouTube. That vid scared me for years lol. Then due to seeing worse I became desensitized to it. Wouldn't say early internet but interesting nonetheless. There was a multitude of krillers who have posted on 4chan, one who asked the question, what does B keep in the freezer? They then proceeded to post pictures of body parts with timestamps to prove it authentication. Another one was, again 4chan, a guessing name of a missing person and provided a freebie which when guessed correctly lead to the coordinates of where the body was buried. Are you cheating me or is that true? Is the Heaven's Gate website still up and running? Yes it is. But the real question is who is paying for it to stay up? The guy who went caving. He ends his blog with "I'll let you know what I find" and then it just ends. Google Ted's caving and it's the first result. That was one of the best internet horror stories. A creepypasta before creepypasta. Lake City Quite Pills. Old Reddit user who used to post here in the really old days, before subreddits even I think, died. Their friend took over their Reddit account for a bit and let Reddit know. Eventually people noticed the user was linked to some site, I think it was porn or something, which in turn contained message logs. These message logs were all pretty cryptic. The logs eventually mentioned holding a service for the dude who died but gave weird requirements like not giving your real name to hotel staff, not being told, only American currency and to remain low profile. Stuff like that. People are a bit suspect of this, and during the same night this party is meant to be happening some mobster is held close to the venue of it by hitmen. Website after a while was taken down and all that remains are screenshots of the original logs. Barely sociable has a vid about the topic on YouTube which will do it far more justice than I have here, but it is certainly the oldest thing I know of. If anyone is interested. A podcast called Red Web did an episode on this about a month ago. It was real interesting hearing all the pieces come together and I highly recommend it. A young girl went missing or was held in a certain area, and as time passes, on YouTube a old white guy titled The Anniversary of That Girl's Disappearance Death with the location stares into the camera and is just laughing menacing for quite a while before the video ends with him smiling. I've never heard of this before. Could I trouble you for more details if you remember them? Death of Philip Taylor Kramer, the bass guitarist for Iron Butterfly who became a computer engineer. He was said to have been working on data compression techniques and may have been assassinated. But his death was ruled a suicide. The whole story and family are weird. It made the rounds as a favorite early internet conspiracy and then just disappeared. Is this the guy who made some video compression software that had impossible quality retention? 1-800-GOLF tip 1990 to 2000 and man would count up to 10 and would have a pause somewhere between 5 and 10 and then a jump scare of a screaming or a strange siren noise. Don't call it now, it leads to an erotic hotline. What about the guy that tried to test his new gas mask and made chlorine gas? And it was absorbed into his skin. And he stopped posting updates. Yeah, that I've seen the screen caps of that. It was on the K4chan board. His last post had a picture of his skin already badly affected by the gas. And then he never posted again. I can only think of Numenoma guy and wonder what the legend is doing now. He is a musician and was doing a session at my uncle's recording studio, where I would often help with the setup. Good dude. A little quiet. I asked him about the video and he said I was really bored one night and made the video. Next thing I knew, a billion people had seen it. The identity of the main creator of Bitcoin. Many speculations but still no solid proof of who they are exactly. Just that their Bitcoin wallet remains untouched, and there's speculation for that too, like they're waiting to dump it when the time's right or has simply lost the code to the wallet. Still interesting altogether. Wouldn't be surprised if Satoshi Nakamoto were several people. Pink Floyd's Division Bell and Publius Enigma. Who was Serdaragic? TLDR, it was a bot that would search the Usenet feed for mentions of Turkey. And then post diatribes denying the Armenian genocide. Who actually ran the thing was never known. Huh. This must still run today on Reddit and Instagram posts. Tourette's guy. It's been proven that it was a fake, but as far as I know nothing is known about the actors or the filming of it. It's all very vague. Still makes me laugh though. Someone found the house they film in. Somewhere in Ohio. I do wonder if the other people in the videos are actors too. We all know Tourette's guy. His son. His dad, I'm gonna call him Grandpa. And his ex-wife are all probably actors. But what about the black lady at the store who slapped Grandpa? Did the guy playing Danny actually bust into the grocery store's bakery to ask for the bathroom? What's up with the guy who tried to fight Danny for clogging the toilet? The Death Valley Germans, 1996. In short, German family gets lost in Death Valley. Car gets found. Family never surfaced again. Up until today. They are still missing without a real trace. Edit, as another Redditor has pointed out, they actually found some of the father's bones. At least, the found bones. But not from all of them. It's not really a mystery. They tried to take a two-wheel drive vehicle off-road in Death Valley. They got stuck. Then tried to walk out. And never made it. Cicada 3301. Most likely some loosely tied group of cypherpunks. I believe some of the people who won got contacted but communication fell short. Kind of like getting a job but the company just kind of forgets and never contacts again. Our Thataville farming game. Essentially, a user on Reddit posted about a farming simulation game. However, there's a twist where you heal your wife and have to cover it up. No one is able to find it and some say the OP is misremembering details of the game. Pretty sure that's been verified as the op jumbling memories together. It's like the story of the guy who vividly remembers seeing a 1990s anime that was super gruesome and involved things like child suicide. Turns out they were confusing a creepy internet story with an anime that had scared them as a child to create a new memory about something that never even existed. All those forward this email or endure bad luck chain letters stoked and added up to 2020. In like 6th grade I got one of those emails that said forward this to 10 people and your crush will fall in love with you. My dumbass was new to the internet and I misread it. So I sent it to my crush 10 times. I nearly died of embarrassment the next day at school. Who was the asshole that stood up in the middle of the bootleg copy I downloaded of Alien vs Predator? I still have that old 2-part bootleg I downloaded over the course of 4 days on my parents' dial-up internet. It was a perfect low quality bootleg except for one asshole who stood up in the middle of a good fight scene. Who gets up right as the fight scene is picking up. One I remember is something along the lines of cuteoffmyfeet.com. I don't think it's still up. But the gist of it was that a dude's feet were paralyzed and he wanted to cut them off so he could get prosthetics. I don't remember much. There are probably better explanations out there. Archive.org. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto, inventor of Bitcoin? He disappeared shortly after its release and has never been heard of again. Ah yes. The mysterious creator of Bitcoin. Several people have been linked but not proven. The closest link was a Sydney man who made the claim which led to the ATO, Australia's version of the IRS, to raid his residence a few days later. I doubt that led to anything but all we know thus far is that Nakamoto is believed to have gone off the grid in billions if not more in Bitcoin. The most mysterious song on the internet. I only know about this mystery because of a series of videos made by Wang. If you don't know what the mystery is about, it's about a song that is visible to the public. But no one knows who made the song. No one even knows the title of the song. This search started in 2007. But wasn't big until 2019 I think. I will find the song. Or another will find the song. But the song will be sung this year or in a year to come. As it once was. So shall it be again. World without end. Back in 1993. There was a page that had the full process for creating ecstasy. Must have been written by a scientist. Because it was highly detailed. Swim knows what you're referring to. It's from a book a guy wrote in the 60s. He was a scientist. He is the one responsible for the resurgence of ecstasy after WW1. The book, details how to make and take almost every known drug. As he recreated them all himself and studied them both with himself and his wife. Keep in mind MDMA was made by Merck. And was patented. So the process and recipe were obviously published. But, said chemist, also synthesized MDMA, MDEA, MDA and so forth and documented all of them very well. I believe he was the pharmaceutical scientist who developed drugs for the US military. Including LSD. Which they used on soldiers and such. With some searching you'll find it. They were all published. He is regarded as the essential godfather of recreational drugs. Not sure if it's real or not but I remember watching a video of man exploring the catacombs and out of nowhere he just drops the camera and begins to run. The mystery of Bruno Porosnik. This guy was really weird and he had a YouTube channel. He made videos like objects that I've shoved up my and Margaret Thatcher is dead. One day all of a sudden his channel and all its content disappeared and no one knows what really happened to this day. That 4chan thread about the guy who injected the blue liquid in a syringe into himself. I can't find the thread. But I do remember seeing it in a top 15 video I like. It might have gotten solved since then. But IDK. I remember that one. I think it was glow stick fluid. It hasn't been solved but it's somewhat accepted that he died of a heart attack and or poisoning from the liquid.